Supposed Bible contradiction. Did Jesus only come for the Jews or for all people? In Matthew 10 and Matthew 15, Jesus says he only came to witness to the lost sheep of Israel, and implies he did not come for the Gentiles. However, at the end of Matthew, it says he commanded his disciples to take the gospel to all nations of the world. And according to the rest of the New Testament, the apostles seem to agree with this command. So do we have a contradiction? Not so fast. There is a particular order to how Jesus is working in fulfilling the law and atoning for sin, and this plays into it. Paul tells us the Jews were entrusted with the oracles of God, and the Jews were called to bless the world by delivering the message of God to all the nations of the world. So because of this, when God came as the Messiah, he came as a Jew to train and teach other Jews to take his message to the world, and that is exactly what happened. God gave the message of salvation to Israel, and those that listened took this message to all nations of the world. Remember, Jesus' earthly mission was to primarily focus on fulfilling the law, atoning for the sins of the world, and training disciples to spread his message all over the world. Israel was the chosen nation to do this, so the Messiah came to Israel to prepare them for this global mission of starting the church of the Messiah that would encompass all tribes. So Jesus' mission was to fulfill the law, atone for sins, and train the apostles to go to all nations. So when he says he only came for the lost sheep of Israel, he was not claiming he was planning on excluding Gentiles. At that time, he was specifically focusing on training his Jewish disciples to go to all nations. This is why Paul later says the gospel came to the Jew first, then to the Greek. Even though that was the main focus, Jesus still ministered to Gentiles when the opportunity arose. He healed the daughter of a Gentile woman in the region of Tyre and Sidon. He went out of his way to minister to a Samaritan woman, and immediately after, he told his disciples, "Lift up your eyes and see that the fields are white for harvest." At that moment, he would have been speaking about the Samaritan people, whom they were among. He later even said he had sheep that were not of this fold, indicating there were people outside of the Jews who were called to be his. So it is clear from the context, Jesus was not against ministering to Gentiles. Thus, this supposed contradiction can be resolved.